All right, guys, welcome back. We are taking a look at this killer riff from Akira Takasaki and the band Loudness, of course. And this is from the Lightning Strikes album, which is the album that came after Thunder in the East, which was sort of their big introduction to America, the American audience, which I think that was 1984 or 5. But this one came after that, and this is such a cool little riff here. I thought it would be a great one to take a look at. It's a little different than some of the 80s metal stuff because it doesn't use the typical open A string pedal tone. So I think this is unique in that way, and you can learn something from that. I know I did. So we'll get to the riff in just a second. Before we do, if you want to help support this channel and ensure that, I keep making these videos for you guys, you can do that over at Patreon in the link down below. And you'll also find the tab and Guitar Pro and the backing track for this lesson over there. And as a matter of fact, I have been uploading a bunch of stuff from my archives, all sort of 80s hard rock and metal based lessons and riffs, songs, solos, jam tracks, all that kind of cool stuff over at Patreon. So please do go check it down in the link. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen too, so you can check it out. Check that out. So also, I've got a free gift for you guys, and it's called 5 blistering licks to light up your fretboard. So there's a link also for that in the description. So let's get started. This is in the key of E, and you can tell it kind of has a little bit of an upbeat feel to it, which means it's probably a major type chord progression, at least for the main riff. We're in standard tuning. An E chord for you. And what it is we start up here on the 14th fret, and we play 14 on the D and 14 on the G twice. And then we play 14 on the D and 13 on the G once. Now, if you got small fingers or really big frets, then by all means feel free to cram in your middle and ring finger here on the 14th fret, and then play it like that. But I got some sausages here for fingers, and these that's really kind of uncomfortable right there around the 14th fret. Moving it down lower, it's much more doable. So if you were going to do it like I am, you'd want to roll your finger like that. So you're just barring across the 14th fret and then just raising it up with your middle finger and playing 14 and 13. So that's basically an E sus to an E major chord. Right, so if you think about an E sus chord, if you know your garden variety E major chord, then if you add your pinky on the A note on the 3rd string, so you're adding an A instead of using the 3rd. So, and then if you resolve it back to the root, back to the 3rd. So you're getting an E sus 4 and then E major. And so that's what's going on here. Notice I said E major. So it's kind of a happy sounding riff, right? Especially in the beginning. But what's cool about how Akira is playing this is he's not using the low E string, which would be the normal string to use for a pedal tone for an E riff, right? You have that kind of a thing. On the main riff, he's going. Hear that? So it's all on the D string. So all your mutes, you're going to go and then mute on that 14th fret twice. And then you move this shape down to a D major. So that's 12 on the D, 11 on the G. And again, we're just muting on the D string. So what we do is we add the 13th fret on the G. So that's a common note. From the E major chord, we're just adding that chord to the D major chord. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is a great reason to have the tab. If there's any confusion, head over to Patreon, grab the tab, and you'll be set. But if you can follow along here, now we're going to go to an E power chord down here, open E and 2nd fret A, to an A 5 power chord, like that. So it's a little tricky getting from here. Hopefully that makes sense. So he just keeps going back and forth there. And then at on the last one he goes. So E, A, E, A, E. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit of the other riffs as well. But before we do that, let me just play the whole main riff slow for you. So here we go. Here's the next part. Super cool, right? So there's kind of a pickup, a bar that's kind of meant to be like it's leading into the next section. So we're playing just a D5 power chord, 5th fret, D sharp, whoops, at the 6th fret, and then an E at the 7th fret. And we're just chugging away on the low E string, E5 power chord, slide it off. Then this cool part. So there's your D5. You play it like this. Then add the pinky across the 9th fret on the G and the B strings. So it's kind of like a D major 9 type sound. You go back between the D5 and the D9, the D major 9 type chord. It'd be more like a D add 9 there. And by the way, if you hear any dings in the background, just a little hint at what's going on in my world. I've just finished recording the final guitar tracks for my brand new album that will be coming out. It's a solo album. I can't say much about it, but I'll tell you this, it's very much not a solo album. It's got some really great singers on it, many who you will recognize, and as well as a couple of killer drummers, an awesome bass player, and some added stuff, guest guitar solos, and even some cool keyboard stuff, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. But right now we're kind of working on the final details and getting ready to start mixing, and going back and forth with the record label a little bit. So my phone's pinging me here and there. So I guess I could put it in the other room, but I kind of wanted to know when those pings were coming through. So we'll allow the record label to butt in a little bit here and there. By the way, my record label is called Limb Music, Limb, over in Germany, Hamburg, Germany. And I've done several albums with Limb, including all 3 Firewolf records. So he's a great guy and a big metal fan as well. He's been around for a long time and was involved with bands like Halloween back in the day. But anyway, so we're trying to get the details. So that's what the dinging's all about. It's not just the dinging in my head. All right, so we're going to go back and forth between this D5 and this D add 9. Then we get this. Whoops. Okay, so that's now I am using the low E string as a pedal, and that's 7 on the A, 6 on the D. That's an E major to a D major, 5th fret A, 4th fret D, up to an F sharp minor. That's 9 on the A, 7 on the D, and then back to the E. And then this again. You'll repeat the whole sequence. Okay, let's keep going. I want to show you guys most of the song here. We have this. Kind of that cool little section there. It's leading. It's kind of like a bridge, I guess. This is a C sharp sus chord. This would be like a sus2. What I'm doing is barring across the 4th fret on these A, D, G, and B strings, and you're gonna play 6 on the D and the G, and then all you're doing is picking from the 5th string down to the 2nd string and then back up, and then you're gonna play a D major chord. So this time I'm playing 5th fret on the A string, but then I'm barring across 7th fret on the D, G, and B, and play that from the 5th string down to the B string. So you come all the way back to the 4th string, and then you do this. Cool little riff. Open E string, 4th fret E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D. That's played 3 times, and then you're back to this. Okay, and after those 3, then we're going to go into this section. This would be like the pre-chorus here. So I'm playing this F sharp minor chord with some open strings. Sound pretty good on the clean sound, but Akira does it live with fully distorted sound, and I think on the album too. But you can play this either way. You just want to use a little muting. So this is 4th fret D, 2nd fret on the G, open B, open E. Then move the shape up a whole step. So now you're 6th fret D, 4th fret G. Then back to the 4th fret. So F sharp, G sharp, back to F sharp. Then up to 7 and 6 on the D and G. It's kind of like an A major, but with a B in there, so like an A major 9. And then you do, so the whole sequence, the first sequence is. So you go from the A back to the G sharp. And then you start over on F sharp. Up to G sharp. Back to F sharp. And then you end on that A. And that leads into the... So I'll play this whole section for you. I didn't mean to hit the D there, so just on that the last one there. And then okay, then you're back into the riff. Hopefully that makes sense as the whole entire piece there. So it kind of circles back around, does the whole thing again, and then goes into the solo, which we're not going to talk about here today. But we've covered almost all of the songs. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it too. Playing these type of little, I call these dyads. Well, I don't just call them dyads, they're called dyads. But they're little 2-note chords. But this time not using the low strings as a pedal. That's a little different. And it gives it a different sound too, which sounds kind of unique. Would have sounded different if he had used that low string. So there you go. Kudos to Loudness and Akira Takasaki. Go check out some Loudness and enjoy this riff, and head over to Patreon for the tab and the backing track for this so you can try it out for yourself. I'll see you next time. Rock on.